Welcome back to Straight Talk Africa, live from Washington. Once again, it's time to bring in my colleague and social media reporter, Mariama. Take it away again, Mariama.
Well, thanks, Shaka. Entrepreneurs from across the globe bring the taste of Africa to new places by investing in African restaurants in Washington, D.C., London, Paris, and elsewhere. But we wanted to also know what your cravings are and what satisfies you when it comes to African food, leading us to our question of the week, asking, what is your favorite African cuisine? Well, from Zambia's nshima to matoke, fufu, chebujan, egusi soup, to tibs and injera bread, and carrot and ginger relish, or baobab chili jams. I have to tell you, I am starving just saying these words. But before we get to your favorites, let me first thank you for using all our social media platforms to communicate to us. A reminder that we are tweeting live today. Just use the hashtag VOA African Cuisine. And if you haven't yet, please do follow us at VOA Shaka. Speaking of which, let's go to a tweet from Luba Official from Kampala in Uganda, who tweets, we have a local dish here in Uganda called La Pena, and we do love it a lot. Well, another tweet comes from Sandy Narty from Accra in Ghana, who says that fufu and green soup with snails and crab meat are a Ghanaian delicacy. Let's now turn to our Facebook followers and go to a posting from Anthony Sankumbi from Mubende in Uganda, who writes, I like eating matoke with ground nuts and dry mushrooms. Well, Shaka, a selection of foods that are keeping all of us absolutely salivating right now. Your take, you and your guests, your take on this one.
Very interesting. Malcolm, are you there? Have you been following?
Yeah, I'm here.
So what about that? Can you tell us something about nshima? Is nshima your favorite delicacy or what? Or matoke?
Well, yeah, I'm very happy that they mentioned nshima and from Zambia. You know, that was very good. Indeed, it's one of my all-time favorite dishes. And whenever I eat nshima, it takes me back home. And, you know, it's something that my mom still cooks today, and it just encompasses, you know, so much of my heritage. And it's also something that I'm also trying to pioneer here in the UK, is basically trying to share some of the African knowledge, and along with some of the sustainable African tree foods that I've been trying to pioneer, I thought I'd do the reverse. And bring some African knowledge. And one of the ingredients that we're actually starting to plant very shortly is pumpkin leaves. And the pumpkin leaves go very well with nshima. And so that's always a great accompaniment. And the pumpkin leaves are cooked very slowly with onions, a bit of tomato, and traditionally ground nuts. And that's a dish known as zovundula, or in South Africa as masamba. And it's eaten all across Africa. And I've been trying here to educate people and say, you must eat these leaves. I can't believe, you know, the amount of pumpkins that are grown in the UK is phenomenal. And to think that the byproduct are the leaves, and they're delicious. So, you know, nshima ranks on one of my top 10 dishes that I love. So I'm so happy that you mentioned it, and I had a chance to talk about pumpkin leaves.
Very
as
interesting.
Well.
Very interesting. At least we share groundnuts, so peanut sauce, and of course I would add matoke. I hope next time I come to Queen of Sheba will find some matoke and groundnuts there. Mariama, what about you?
Yes, and I actually, maybe the Queen will be able to talk about, she brought us some delicious stuff right here in the studio. I'm saying this, probably our audience will feel a little bit bad that you guys won't be part of the feast afterwards. But hopefully the Queen will be able to tell us some of the delicious stuff she's brought us. But let's now, in the meantime, let's now turn to more comments. Starting with Mohammed Ahmed Mansour in Monrovia, Liberia, who writes, I love to swallow the fufu with bitter leaf and a cow skin. Well, we'll end with one more post, this time from Omunua Okugbo Igodalo in Abuja, Nigeria, who writes that pounded yam and egusi soup with fresh fish is my favorite African food. Not only it's tasty, but it's also highly nutritious. No true African can afford not to love this tasty and nutritious indigenous African dish. By the description of it, I'll have to second that, but hoping that one of my Nigerian friends can invite me over soon for a taste. Shaka and Guess, once again, your take on these comments.
What about that, Queen of Sheba?
About
what they just said. Do you hope to incorporate a bit of that so that it can be inclusive rather than exclusively Ethiopian? And
I would love it. I would love it. I mean, you know, as an African, we all have to come together and create something. And if anybody's interested, they're welcome and bring their ingredients, and we can work together.
Really?
Oh yeah, that's an invitation to me.
Yeah, for
Well,
you, young man.
what about you, Kwame? What
I
about
love
you?
egusi. That's my favorite. Egusi stew with fufu. I actually have a dish on my menu. It's egusi stew, but it's used with braised monkfish.
What about pepper soup?
Pepper soup? Hot pepper soup, of course.
Is it going to be there?
It won't be there on this menu, so it's a tasting menu. So it's 17 courses of different bites. So the opening menu won't have the egusi stew, but you know, who knows? Down the line, I'm thinking of putting egusi stew, pepper soup, you know, some suya on there, things like that. So
You better be inclusive, man, so that at least you can even have some African embassies as some of your clients.
of course, of course,
For sure, eh?
of course, absolutely, absolutely. There'll be something for everyone there.
Wow. Mariama, well, I have to say what it's been a pleasure, of course, being with you again in Studio 52. Go for it.
Well, I guess if my Nigerian friends don't invite me in the meantime, I'll definitely taste that egusi soup at Kwame's restaurant. Well, that will do it for today's social media segment. A reminder that we appreciate all the feedback, whether it's in social media form or using other means to communicate to us. Please keep them coming. If you are a new fan, just drop us a line at africatv@voanews.com. Once again, our email address is africatv@voanews.com, or post your comment on our Facebook page. Just enter the keywords Straight Talk Africa. Be sure to visit us online at voaafrica.com, or you can join our YouTube channel. Sign up to VOA TV to Africa, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter at VOA Shaka. A reminder that the show is streaming live every Wednesday. Just go to the VOA Straight Talk Africa program page on our website, or simply watch us live on your mobile device. Just download the VOA mobile app.